What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the next installment looking at our final video project. So the story behind this is I feel that we in history spend a lot of time just typing away and writing, and I think there's other ways to sort of showcase your appreciation of history or your knowledge base. And so I started doing this video project, so you don't get a bunch of writer's cramps. Let me bring you through it here, the basics of it. So the video you're going to create for me in this class is going to be a video that's 5 to 10 minutes long. Obviously, the more that you show me, the more I have to grade. So keep that in mind, just like you would a regular writing assignment. This has to be an approved topic. I'll talk more about that when we get to the thesis and assignment section of this, but just know that you're going to have to think about something in history. Anything that pertains to the class we're in. So if you're in 201, it's from pre-Columbian America all the way to 1877. If you're in, history 202, it would be, from the Gilded Age on. So we have a lot of people that cross over. So I'll have a history 201 class looking at the Civil War and the American Revolution, and they'll turn in a thesis about World War II. Well, that's not going to work. You're going to have to do something from within the confines of U.S. history, not Germany, not India, U.S. history within the time frame of the class. But other than that, you are free to do whatever you want within there as long as it's approved by me. When you do your project, you need to have 5 primary and secondary sources. So if you're curious about that or you don't remember, a primary source is a source from someone who wrote about history that was there. For example, George Washington, if you got a hold of his diary and you read that, that would be an example of a primary source looking at the American Revolution. You don't actually have to have his physical copy of his diary. It could be a copy of the diary. So it's just a source from someone that was at an event or in time frame. The secondary sources are pretty much everything else. So anyone who's writing about these things. For example, if I wrote a book about George Washington's diary, then I would have that would be a secondary source. So you need 5 primary or all secondary or 1 and then 4? No, it is your whatever your inklings are, whatever you can find. Honestly, I don't set a number. I need to have at least 5 sources that you're using for this. So you can use any recording device you want, HD cameras, cell phones, tablets, etc. Currently this video I'm using screen capture off of my computer, but I would say the majority of people that do this project use just their camera phones. It's everything you'll need in there. You'll have editing software and pretty simple stuff. You don't have to go crazy with this assignment. It can be as bare bones as you feel comfortable with. So again, don't feel like you have to rent any devices. Just use what you got. You can use images and videos with the original script and kind of cover your topic. So I'll give you lots of different examples through the semester, so you can kind of see what I'm looking for. So don't fret about that. I would like to avoid you just reading a script in front of a camera. I'd like you to kind of jazz it up a little bit. So aesthetic is important. So keep that in mind. We also have, as far as copyrighted material, try to avoid that. This is a low-level class. I don't think you have to worry about lawyers so much, but if you do end up using a public domain video or something you saw posted somewhere and you want to use a clip of it, you want to use 30 seconds of Gettysburg, from a scene from a movie, make sure you give that's a source that you're going to cite. Make sure that you give credit to the people that created that. And also, don't lean so heavily on other people's videos, because ultimately, I don't want you to turn in a video where it's just a 10-minute section of someone else's essay or documentary, and that's not going to fly. So use them sparingly, but definitely, you can spice up your presentation a little bit if you need to. This assignment is worth 200 points. It's 150 points for the video itself and 50 points for the thesis assignment, which we'll get to in just a second. You must have the video in a digital format that I can view. I don't know why you would send it in microfilm, but you never know. I prefer MP4 format. I can watch video in anything, essentially, any format, but MP4 is probably the best. I'll take that back. Probably the best thing, the way to get you your video project is if you post it on an online service like a YouTube or Vimeo. That would be great. So you can just send me the link when you turn in your assignment. That would be the easiest. But if you don't feel comfortable, you can always just send me a hard copy of your film as well. You got to have a typed outline, storyboard, and or script with citations with the final project. You'll turn that in with your video. You don't have to do an outline, storyboard, and script. You can do one or the other, or all three, or two, or whatever. It's your combination. Again, I'm very laissez-faire with this. All I need you to do is show me your outline or the plan you had for this this film and your citations or whatever you did to make the video. So I just need to have a physical like copy, or at least a digital copy of your steps to create this video, and so I can look back and review all of your sources. If you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to me. So the thesis assignment. So this is pretty simple. You're just going to go to Blackboard, and I have a thesis statement assignment on Blackboard. And you just click on it, and you go through and answer the 3 questions. And again, it needs to be, it'll steer you through it here. I'll kind of show you an example while we got it pulled up here. So, what time frame or event is this taking place during? So, for this, I have an example of the U.S. occupation of Haiti from 1914 to 1935. So you're going to answer that. Obviously, don't use my example. Then the second question will be, what aspect are you going to be looking at? And for the example I have here, the destruction of the voodoo practices by the U.S. Marines during that time. And then what is your actual thesis? So I put here an example. Due to Jim Crow mentalities, a lack of cultural empathy, and imperialistic tendencies led the destruction of many voodoo practices in Haiti at the hands of the U.S. Marines in 1917. So it's sort of, we're snowballing here. I'm just starting off with where and what time are we looking at, what aspect of this event, and then what are the things that my thesis actually going to be looking at. So you're going to have to do a little digging before you turn in your assignment, but create a thesis, at least something working. Your thesis can change as you do the project, which might happen. Your worldview might change as soon as you discover more. But just keep that in mind. So, once it's approved, you can begin working on the actual project. It's due by the end of week 7. So, you can get it to me earlier. That's totally fine. You can start on it this week. It's going to be open on Blackboard. So, if you feel comfortable doing this assignment, by all means, go ahead. But again, you'll turn it in, and I'll let you know that it's approved. And if it's not, I'll email you back saying, "Hey, you gotta fix your thesis a little bit." So, there's a good start for you there. So, again, I've got the things to keep in mind here for you. You can read through that on your own, and then there's a rubric at the end here. So, a little long video. I kind of wanted to cut a little shorter for you there. Sorry about that. But obviously, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Stay tuned to Blackboard. I'll be posting examples sparingly throughout the next few weeks. You can kind of get an idea of some ways to present your video project. Anyway, like I said, reach out if you have any questions, and we'll see you around.